farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Rochelle.
And my name is Al, still.
And we're here to talk about farming games.
Woo!
Woo! I hope y'all are ready. We're going to have a very exciting episode today. We're going to talk about the Stardew Valley update for you as our main topic. But before that, we're going to tell you what we've been playing. We're going to do a super top secret segment that's not going to be top secret for very long. And of course, we're going to hit everybody's favorite topic, the news. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Al, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Stardew.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, when I say a lot of Stardew, I mean like Rochelle levels of Stardew.
Yeah, like when Nintendo mails out its quarterly email and it's like, you've played hundreds of hours of Stardew. That much?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't get those emails outside of America, but...
You don't?
No, they don't, for some reason.
So sad.
And the really annoying thing is you can't
even
Nintendo
go on email I care about.
You can't even go onto the website to see it. It's only for American accounts.
Oh. That's BS. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's probably some data protection thing or something, but still.
Probably.
I mean, the thing is, right,
it's probably bad
they have all that data, they have all that information, and they kind of half give it to you, right? You can go through and add it all up if you go through each day in the app, but for some reason it doesn't just have a total in the... I've got the parental controls app installed so I can see all that information, and it doesn't just give you a total. It's really weird.
I mean, yeah, because like the closest you can get, you can look on your profile and see how many hours you've played of a game, but that's over the whole lifetime of the game.
It's also less detailed as well. It's kind of like about this number.
Yeah. About 487 hours. I wonder what mine is.
Also, that's per Switch as well, I think.
It's per account. So, like, I have my profile on multiple Switches.
Oh, yeah, so it is. So 110 or more on Stardew for me.
Ooh. Oh, man. I'm only at 425 hours of Stardew. That's disappointing.
I have 145 on Pokemon Sword, though.
Oh, how much do I have on Pokemon? 160 on Shield, 30 on Sword.
Nice.
I play a lot of games.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Stardew. Been playing a lot of the stuff on the new and I started a new save for it with the new map, as you did, and have been enjoying that a lot and seeing how quickly I can do certain things as well, which is good fun. So I think I'm in fall of year 2, and I've done the community centre and the missing bundle and most other things. I think the only kind of... I've not shipped everything or fished everything yet, but I'm not too far off them. I think the only thing I've not really done is the getting to level 100 in the Skull Cavern. I think that's the only kind of mission that I've not done yet.
I am well into year 3. I've also been playing a lot of Stardew, in case you didn't expect that.
I wonder what that would be for.
I'm well into year 3. I still have not gotten to level 100 in the Skull Cavern, but I think that's more because I'm... Okay, so here's the story. So when I last left off, last episode, I am desperately trying to complete my museum. I completed my shipping bin. I'm trying to complete my museum. I was 3 items away. I need a bone flute, a prismatic shard, and a prehistoric vertebrae, right?
You used your prismatic shard for the missing bundle, didn't you?
No, I haven't found one.
Oh, you haven't found one? But you've done the missing bundle, haven't you?
Yes, the missing bundle has 6 item options, but you only have to put 5 in. So yeah, I did everything but the prismatic shard.
I did everything but the gold ancient fruit.
It was so much easier for me to get a gold ancient fruit.
Well, you have to get 5 of them. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Time consuming.
So easy. So easy. It's because the entire game I saved up all of my ancient fruits to turn into wine. So I never got rid of any. So I just had a stash. And I put fertilizer on literally everything I grow. But anyway, so the prehistoric vertebra is hard to find because it only pops up either from a dig spot on the bus stop map, or we'll talk about this later, but there's a particular monster that will also drop it in the Skull Cavern. And for a long time, I was avoiding it because I was like, I'm never going to find one of these monsters. I need a better sword. I'm not equipped for this. I'll go later. And then one time, I was just like, just for funsies, I'm going to do a few levels. And I had really good luck, and I happened to find a single one of those monsters, and it happened to drop the prehistoric vertebra, and I cried with joy. That happened this weekend.
Yeah. I shouldn't tell you that I got that without trying really hard, should I?
Well, fine. Okay, fine.
I think I've literally killed one of those.
I have found 3 prismatic shards.
4 now.
4!
Sorry. Look, right. I found that they become a lot easier if you just go really far down the Skull Cavern and just get all the iridium nodes. I've literally found all 4 of them just by the iridium nodes, none of the the mystic node or anything like that. And I've only had a total of 20 iridium bars or something like that, so it's not a huge number of nodes that I've mined.
I have more than 50 iridium bars. I hate this.
Right, but
I also have the statue of.
Yes, that's fair. Ore, so. I don't have that yet because I'm still in fall. Although I do have enough points now for it, so that's good.
Nice. Anyway, so I've been playing Stardew. My goal this game is I actually want to 100% this game. I've never 100%ed a game of Stardew before. So I am I have a whole notebook. I have checklists and stuff. I have everything listed out. I haven't actually listed out everything because there's a couple of new things with this update, which we'll talk about later, which are very large tasks to complete in their entirety. So, but for the most part, I'm trying to complete my museum. I'm trying to cook all the recipes. I recently finished catching all of the fish, etc. So I've been putting a lot into Stardew. What else have I been playing? I've been playing read a book every week, but that's not really a video game.
I feel like it probably could be.
I could probably make it into one if I tried really hard. I do set myself little goals every day. I have a bookmark, which, by the way, my bookmark right now is an Ancient Mew Pokemon card. Oh. The same one I got in what was it, 2000, whenever they gave those out in theaters
when I was a child? And that's in a protective cover, right? You don't just have it on its own. Rochelle?
Oh my gosh! I have literally never until this moment considered putting it in a protective cover.
Oh, Rochelle. Mine.
Okay, well, I'll do that when we're done.
Mine is in a protective shell. I have 3 cards that are in protective shells.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't need mine to be in pristine condition. It's already not in pristine condition. I played with it as a kid. It's in pretty good condition, all things considered. And also, I think it might ruin my books.
Not for long if you use it as a bookmark.
What are you talking? I've been using it as a bookmark for literally almost 2 decades. This has been my bookmark since I was a child. I'm a disappointment, I know. More importantly, so I don't know if you know this, Al, but in the winter it gets really cold here. So I haven't been doing as much Zombies Run because my usual walking times are when I come home from work, and that's late at night, and it's really cold then. I think this past week it was I think it got up to 3 degrees Celsius one time.
Nice.
That was the high this past week for my walking times. Too cold. But there is another 6 to start game. So 6 to start is the company that does Zombies Run, and they have another one called The Walk, which it just tracks you walking throughout the day, and you go like on little paths and you like collect items, and it has a story. So I've been doing that since it turns out I walk a lot in my everyday life when it's not when I'm going on walks. Turns out I walk a lot. So I've been doing that, and that's been pretty interesting. It's a little disorienting because it uses all the same voice actors, because they work and get paid by 6 to start. So it's a little disorienting to be like, oh, I know this. Wait, this is not the same character. The sort of in your ear character of The Walk is also voiced by someone who voices a character in Zombies Run who I love very passionately, who has been dead for like 6 seasons. And so that was like very emotionally distressing. The story's interesting so far, though. I'm still trying to figure out this mystery. We'll see what happens. I'm only on mission 7 of 50 something, so we'll see.
Cool.
So that's what I've been playing. Stardew and The Walk and books.
Books.
I read Carmilla last week, or the week before. I wasn't that into it.
I don't know what that is, but I feel like if I say that, then it'll probably spun off another conversation. So we're going to talk about our next challenge episode.
What? Surprise!
It's been a long time since we've had a challenge episode. What can I say? Winter's winter.
Yep.
We decided it was time for another challenge episode. So in 4 weeks' time, that is the 4th of March, we will be releasing the next challenge episode. And this time we're going to be doing it with Doraemon, Story of Seasons.
Yeah.
So that's 4 weeks' time to do this. So if anyone wants to join in, you start now when you hear this. And when the episode comes out, that's when the time to stop is.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules this time are, so as usual, you can play up to 1 year in the game. The win condition is the number of friendship hearts with animals at the end of that 1 year. So that includes all animals that you can have on your farm or the wild ones that you can befriend. That's basically any animal that can have friendship hearts. You can do anything else in the game. There's no other rules, but the only thing that counts at the end is the hearts with animals. Mm-hmm. Anything to add about that, Rochelle?
No, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple and straightforward. We're going to make animal friends, which is a really good one because the animals in this game are really, really good.
There's a lot to choose from, so lots of different strategies, and we'll see what wins out.
Yeah. I'm going to win. I'm calling it now. I'm calling my bet. Aww.
We'll see.
You're supposed to be like, no, I will win because I'm really good at animals.
I'm going to focus on one animal.
Okay.
And win this thing.
Good luck with your maximum 10 hearts.
Yeah.
I think that may have been the lowest energy rule explanation we've ever done.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Should we talk about some news instead?
Yeah.
Rochelle, have you heard of a little game called Stardew Valley?
You know, it's a very small game. I've only kind of sort of slightly picked it up on my radar, but I think I might be aware of what you're talking about.
Well, some news came out that this little game has now sold 10 million copies.
10 million! That is more than the amount of money I will ever make in my whole life.
By probably a factor of 2 or something, yes. No, not 2. Factor of 2? That would be 500,000.
I would be honored to make that many
5 million.
Life goals.
To put this into perspective, I was doing some research on this. Apparently, the 10th best-selling game of all time is Diablo 3, which sold about 30 million copies. So it sold a third of the number of the 10th best-selling game of all time.
And it's only been out for 4 years.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing. I know I have contributed to at least a couple of those count numbers.
Yes, that's a good point. I at least count for 3.
We're 5 between us. Perfect.
Oops.
Now everyone else needs to account for the other 9,999,995 units. But that's really exciting. This game turns out it's really good and really successful.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I'm going to presume that makes it probably the best-selling farming game, but I don't have numbers on that.
I'm pretty comfortable going out on that limb. Listeners, if we're blatantly wrong because we chose to do no research whatsoever, tweet at us. Aw, don't look it up. That's no fun.
It's all right. Nobody has a list, sadly.
You'd probably have to look them up like individually.
Nobody ever makes the lists that I want. There are a lot of games to look up individually. I'm not doing that work.
Maybe if we make enough money on the Patreon, I'll just start making lists of games.
On the what now?
Cut that out, editor.
Nope, I'll be leaving it in.
Okay.
Speaking of Stardew Valley, do you remember in the last episode, I think, maybe the episode before that, we were talking about Farming Simulator and how that at some point we probably would buy it at some point and probably maybe play it at some point. Well, have I got news for you? Farming Simulator 19 is coming to the Epic Games Store and is going to be the free game between the 30th of January and the 6th of February.
Oh my gosh, that's a free game that I have to get for free instead of buying it with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming that the free version is not the Platinum Edition, because if you go on to the store listing, it's currently listing both the Standard and the Platinum Edition as coming soon. But they don't say which one is the free one. Presumably it will be the Standard one, not the Platinum Edition, because the Platinum Edition only came out a couple months ago anyway.
Yeah, and I would think so, because what the Platinum Edition is the main game with a bunch of bundled DLC that you would pay for separately. And they probably want you to pay for the DLC separately so they make some money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's out now. Go get it. Until tomorrow.
Yes.
I hope you're listening on this very day.
Yes, this episode comes out on the 5th of February, so good luck. If you're hearing it before the end of or I think it's something like 5 p.m. UTC date, so do some maths.
What is that in Mountain Time Zone?
11 a.m., I want to say.
I'm -7.
Oh, then 10 a.m.
Go team go.
Woo.
Get that free game. You want to hear something else about Farming Simulator?
I do.
Did you know that there's not going to be a new one this year?
There's not?
But there will be 3 DLCs for 19. So get on that 19 train. Get that Farming Simulator game.
Don't wait for a new game this year. It's not coming.
Nope. Just hop on 19. Get into it.
It's a good time to get into Farming Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of games coming out or not coming out this year or coming out this year...
We are so good at transitions. You want to talk about a topic we've talked about before?
I do, because we finally have an answer to this question of where is Rune Factory 4?
Guess where it is?
February. No, that's not the answer.
Yes, it is releasing in February.
Woo.
Finally, it's the 25th in North America and the 28th in Europe and South. Is Australia really called South Europe?
No, I'm just calling it that. Look, if they're in Eurovision, they get to be made fun of.
Okay, I was genuinely confused for a moment. I was like, wait a second. Is that actually something people say? I agree with your assessment of Eurovision, but the wording confused
Only
me.
4 months to go.
We're so close.
Till Eurovision.
So close. Oh my gosh. And in the meantime, you have, first of all, you have this, then you'll have Animal Crossing, and then you'll have I can't talk. Then you'll have Eurovision.
And also Summer and Mara's in there somewhere as well.
Yeah. But that wasn't an easy quick
No,
list.
I know. Sorry. And we also have answers.
And also, I don't know the
We have answers to the question. Well, we don't know the day at all because they've just said February. They don't have a date yet.
Yeah.
We also have reasons for why it didn't come out last year as they had said it would.
We do. Did you read this whole article?
I skimmed it. There's a lot of words in there.
Oh, I read the whole thing, word for word, because what happened is that at first I was like, please, you should give us any communication about this. And then what happened is that I choose to believe that they heard that and they were like, we should explain ourselves. So they wrote an entire blog post about this and the reason why in great detail, with like example diagrams.
There's so much, like we get to see some like detailed information about so much.
And truly, I was reading this and my honest thought was, first I thought, you did not have to go this hard. You could have just said you were having localization issues. But then I was like, am I being a jerk? Am I saying like you have to explain everything and then you also have to explain less than everything? But then I was like, oh, I understand what's going on. You're making up for the fact that you didn't explain the first time by over-explaining the second time. So basically they had some localization challenges, which had to do with, what are the quick bullet points I can hit here? So it's all localization. It mostly had to do with how part of it is how like the coding of the dialogue works and how it pulls dialogue from the dialogue bank into the game. Part of it was translating things more accurately. Part of it was that they have voice acting. So most of the voice acting is like flavor text, just the hellos and et cetera, et cetera. But some of the new additions to this, so like there's like new modes with new story and stuff, and that actually has full line dialogue voice acting with particular characters. So they had to record all of that and then localize all of that. Something I had forgotten, Rune Factory 4 has a very, very large amount of text for a video game. So it was a lot of relocalizing that. They also added French and German for the first time. So a lot of it was working through French and German, which has gendered words, which they were having problems with programming.
Yeah, I think
because the gendered.
I think we talked about this as being a theory when we discussed it at the end of last year.
Yes.
And I thought it may well be partly to do with adding in two whole languages. What I didn't remember is that, yes, French and German are languages that have words with genders, and not just that, but different depending on the gender of the person saying the word as well, which is frankly insane.
Was... Well, it is what it is. So, like, that was the major issue they hit, was, like, trying to get the gendered words to properly change based on who is saying them. They also had problems in German where, because a lot of German words are very long, like, they have a lot of characters, they had to, like, whatever program they were using couldn't handle words that long, so they had to change that.
Which is hilarious.
Which is great.
Well, because the best thing about this is that that's a kind of standard meme about the German language, is that they just mush words together to create longer words. And in this case, it actually broke their tool.
It's a really cool feature of the German language. It's so cool that it broke this video game. So, but like, so this is a really, like, you can go and read it for yourself. This is a very long, detailed blog post. Like, and when I say detailed, I mean they literally have examples of the tags that they use for organizing dialogue in the game coding. It's very long and very detailed. I definitely feel like they're overcompensating a little because they didn't tell us the issue in the first place. But it's interesting. So
yeah,
that's what it is. It was localization issues, it turns out. I wish they had just said that from the top, like, hey, we're having some localization challenges. We want to make sure it's really good for you, so we're going to delay it.
Yeah, I guess
it could have been one tweet instead of an extremely long.
I guess it's one of these things where they didn't want to kind of say it's delayed and not give a date, but they also didn't want to say it, give another date and then have to push it further again. Because I guess the problem is, we always talk about how delaying games can be a good thing because it can allow them to improve the game. But one thing we obviously don't think about very much is that still creates an arbitrary deadline, which means that you do end up still having that crunch issue. And I've seen this highlighted with some games developers recently, is that actually that's not necessarily a good thing, doing that deadline 6 months down the line, because that's still, very soon. And so not specifically saying what that deadline is may well have been more healthy for the team, these sorts of things.
I mean, yes, but you can also just say it's delayed without giving a deadline.
Yeah, but they obviously didn't want to do that.
Which I know not a lot of people... Yeah. Like, and I don't know. I feel like in general, like just the gaming world in general, I think people are hesitant to do that because there have been games in the past that are like, we're going to be delayed, and then they never come out. So I think that they're kind of afraid of people thinking like, oh, well, we're giving up on this game because you're never giving it to us. But also, I wish that people would do that more, because if we just sort of normalize it and then people still put out their games, it makes it a healthier expectation of just being able to say, well, we need more time. And people go, okay, we'll play something else in the meantime. Yeah. Tell us when you're ready. And I think that would be just healthier for everyone involved.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is that maybe companies need to get into the habit of not actually announcing a date until they know they can fulfill it. So obviously they didn't put a date, but they did say 2020. No, 2019. This is 2020. Yeah. And, even that is, you're basically saying it'll be by this point, right? So even doing that, I feel like maybe that is a bad practice in and of itself. If the game isn't ready now, don't tell me when it's going to be ready.
True. I agree with that. The audio will also be in both English and Japanese.
Yeah.
And
I believe, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I believe you can choose that language independently from the language of the game normally.
The way the blog post is worded implies that pretty heavily, but I will not commit to saying that as a fact.
But that is quite cool.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about the swimsuits?
I don't know. I don't know why did they highlight the swimsuits in this blog post, right? It's like, here's a bunch of reasons as to why this was delayed. And also, by the way, we've got swimsuits.
What it is it's a pre-purchase bonus. So if you pre-purchase the game, you get the swimsuit DLC. And if you don't pre-purchase, you don't get it. So what they're trying to do is say, here's this cool extra thing you can get if you buy it now. Please give us your money.
Yeah.
It's just... If the swimsuit thing is your thing, it's fine. But I am not... I feel like I
would feel really uncomfortable playing the game like that.
This DLC, what it is that you have the option in the game to make all of the marriage candidates constantly wear nothing but their swimsuits. Which you do see the swimsuits in the game without it. It's just that it's in very particular like cutscenes and stuff. But this is saying that they have to wear their swimsuits literally at all times. Which I feel awkward about. Like, I'm perfectly fine seeing half-naked people all the time. What I think is awkward about it is that it's done through royal decree. Like, it's like you're supposed to be like a prince or princess in this, and you can like make decrees for the land and say this is what's going to happen. Like, you can be like, we're going to have a festival. And this DLC is, I decree that all people of marriageable age must only wear swimsuits and be half naked all the time. And that feels real uncomfortable to me. I'm not into that idea on principle. What were you going to say about it, Al?
It's not like it's, that point aside, it's not like it's visibly, inappropriate or anything. It just feels a little bit, I can't explain it. It just feels a little bit weird, creepy.
It's a little too creepy and sexual for you?
Yeah.
If this is your thing, all the more power to you. Not my thing. I do think it's interesting that the character they chose to like do a screen cap example of is a character who doesn't really have a shirt in the first place. So that's a thing. They're like, this character with no shirt. You're like, that character never has a shirt.
Moving on. That's Rune Factory 4. It's out at the end of February. Go get it if you want it.
You will have a couple of weeks to play it before everybody gets consumed by Animal Crossing. Anyway, you want to hear some more news that is actually related to whatever was the news? Oh, that was so good until I ruined it. uh, Summer and Mara has some digital rewards.
Yeah. Yeah, the digital rewards from the Kickstarter have started going out.
Yeah, let's hear it. You want to tell me about them?
Because I actually got them, I guess.
Since you...
I did.
You did the Kickstarter and I didn't?
If you ordered any of the digital rewards except the game, so that's the soundtrack or the art book or the welcome pack, there might be some others that were above the tier that I did. Those should all be live now, or if not live, they should be live in the next couple of days. I think they have to do all them manually. Don't ask me why. The game's not out yet. We're still expecting that to be in February at some point, although we don't have an exact release date. And the other thing that's gone out is the postcards. If you got a postcard in your rewards, that has gone out. The other physical rewards haven't yet, but the postcard has. So I've got the postcard and some stickers, and they are very adorable stickers.
Stickers! I love stickers. Should have joined the Kickstarter.
So it's very nice. So I'm getting quite excited about this game.
Yeah. I'm very excited for Mara, and I'm trying to take the lessons I learned from my tempered expectations with Swish and apply it across the board to more things. So I'm very excited, but I guess we'll see.
Yes, it'll either be really, really great or it'll be rubbish.
Or potentially somewhere in between. It could just
we'll
be
see.
Okay.
We'll see. My real issue is that I am getting it on Switch, so let's hope they don't do a Porsche.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Although what's really interesting, they gave us, I noticed some stats for who is getting what platform for the game on the Kickstarter, and apparently 70% of people want the Switch version of the game. Actually back the Kickstarter, so it's not just random people, it's people who've actually paid the money for it, want it on Switch. 70%, that's pretty high.
So, presumably, because we've seen before that they're testing it on the Switch and stuff, so they're presumably, that's part of their development process, is making sure it works on the Switch, as opposed to something more being made for PC and then being adapted for other things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Switch version's coming out at the same time as the PC one. The other consoles are coming later, but they clearly have prioritized Switch. So that's good.
So I'm excited about that. You want to hear about something else I'm excited about?
I do.
There's some more Littlewood updates.
More?
Now you can bundle stuff in the marketplace. There's a bunch of new stuff you can decorate your town with. Quote, pocket watch shortcut. Wait, comma, time travel? 3 question marks? Which is my favorite thing that's ever been written in this show notes.
For context, that's my quote, not a quote from the developer of the game.
Time travel. I don't think that was in the game before, but now it is.
Well,
that'll be fun.
The changelog makes it sound like it was, because it says, and I will quote it here, added pocket watch shortcut button next to the inventory button. So that implies that the pocket watch did exist. There just wasn't a shortcut to it.
Or just that it's a thing that is there now.
I don't know.
Anyway, play it. Figure it out. It's very exciting. Littlewood is coming together very well. I'm very excited for this game.
Speaking of Littlewood.
Even more Littlewood. There's going to be more updates by the time you get this episode, because time is hard and not real. By the time you hear this, there will be an update which has a whole bunch of town events and decorations and bug fixes, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I believe the picture that was sent out with this has a very cute little windmill.
It does.
I'm very excited about a windmill. I want to put a windmill in my town.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Little One is coming together so well. I'm so excited for this game.
I feel like this is the difference between us. You see a windmill and you go, oh, I want a windmill. I see the windmill and go, what does it do? What can I do with it?
Oh. See, that's the difference between us. You're like, I want things to be quick and easy and functional. I want to use the auto grabber and not pet my cows. And I'm like, I love petting my cows. It makes me happy.
We will come to that.
And I like to decorate.
We will come to that later. And I have much to talk about that.
Okay. You want to finish off some news first, though?
Yeah, there's a new game that I've seen, which is in. There's like a playable demo for it just now. I don't have any information on when it comes out, but it's called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. It's a really hard phrase to say.
All right, I'm in. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
So you're a little turnip, and you have been you've been evicted, and because you're a menace to society. So now you have to fend for yourself. I think you end up on a farm somehow. So you're farming, obviously, because it's a farming game. And you can craft weapons to attack other creatures or something. And you're tearing down the corrupt vegetable government or something. I don't know.
Okay. So as someone who has been actively watching the trailer as you speak... what you do is that you grow
weapons. That's what I meant, yes.
So, like, you get a carrot, you grow a carrot sword, and then you fight anybody in your way. And then you dismantle the entire tax system? Ellipsis ? Is the direct quote from this. It looks very cute. It looks very fun.
Yeah.
I'm into this.
I am very intrigued.
Me too.
I think that's the news.
That is the news.
That was a lot of news.
I hope everyone enjoyed that news. It was a good chunk of news. You want to talk about something else?
Shall we talk about some Stardew?
I would love to talk about Stardew literally at any time with anyone, anywhere. So yeah.
Especially right now, right here.
Right here, right now, in your ears.
Yes.
So here's your spoiler warning, everybody.
I know it seems silly, but you never know. We're just saying we will be talking about everything and anything in the 1.4 update. And if you haven't played it yet and you don't want to be spoiled about features, turn off now. But don't, because it's not really story stuff. So
I could talk about story stuff, but Al probably won't let me. So you're safe.
Well, it depends who it's for, because there are some people I'm just not going to bother spending too much.
Ruthless. We probably won't be talking about story stuff. So, and if we do, we'll warn you. That being said, let's just start talking about stuff from this list, because I don't know if y'all are aware, but this update is...
There is so much.
Huge. It's huge. So, first things first, from the beginning, you're making a new character. You're starting a new save file. There's a new map option.
Yeah, the Four Corners map, which we've talked about in previous episodes, but I just wanted to bring it up again. I really like this. There's something really satisfying about the 4 quadrants of it, and how, you know, when you start out, quite often the farm can feel really daunting and huge, and here you are, you've got this 4 quadrant one, and you can just kind of focus on a wee bit. Feels a lot less daunting to start with, but you've got room for movement, and also I love the kind of just being able to segment the farm. So, you know, having your one corner, which is all your animals, and you only need to use like 4 bits of the fence. Fence, that's the word. 4 pieces of fence to actually hem them all in. I just really like that. The other thing I really like about this one is that I think most of them have the greenhouse in the same place. It's just the rest of the map has changed. This one actually changes where the greenhouse is, and it's in a much better place. I don't feel like it's in the way at any point, because I've always wanted to, in the kind of standard map, I've always wanted to move it, because it's always annoyed me where it is, because I can never quite lay things out the way I want them to. But I've never once had to wanted to move it on this map. It's just in a really nice place in the middle.
It is. So I think I covered this when I first was playing. But basically, so you have your 4 sections, and they kind of have like little cliff walls that separate them. And the greenhouse and also the cave and also your pet are all located like at the intersection of those 4 sections. So it's like literally right in the middle. It's not like sticking out from anything because it's like right next to the cliff wall that separates the top right from the top left. It's so nice. It's such a nice little layout. It has a little tiny quarry. It has a little water to fish in. It has a hardwood stump that spawns every day. It's so nice.
It's like they've taken all of the benefits of the other maps and put like a little bit of each of them in. So it's not, you don't get as much hardwood as in the forest one, and you don't get, actually the quarry one might be the same size, I'm not sure.
No, it is significantly smaller.
Yeah, so they're all, oh yeah, of course, because it's quite a lot bigger, isn't it? So you've got the benefits of each of them just in a smaller amount, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm. I really want to start a multiplayer farm with somebody on this, because that would be like everybody has their own little plot of land. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I think that was what it was designed for, but it's also a really nice one for single player as well.
Get on it. Start a new farm on this. You want to know what else you can do from the beginning?
Choose a different pet.
Yeah! There's different breeds of cats and dogs. It's very cute, very exciting. You can change it in the future, but that's it. That's just the whole thought. There are ways to change it in the game. I just don't want to because I have a very cute cat. It looks like a Meowth, and so I named it Meowth.
And I have a dog that I keep forgetting about.
Poor dog. You know, if your dog loves you, you get a point towards...
I don't need that point. Come on. I have enough points.
Okay. Did you want to talk about the auto grabber?
I do want to talk about the auto grabber. I love the auto grabber. I know that this was a 1.3 update, but I don't think we talked about it in our multiplayer update episode of the podcast.
We pretty skimmed over it.
Yeah, we were mostly talking about the multiplayer stuff. But I love this so much. Like, one of the biggest issues for me with Stardew was that they have so many things to automate your farm, but they didn't have a thing to automate animals. And then this auto grabber comes in, and it's expensive, but actually once you're at the point where you've got a lot of animals, you've probably got 25 grand lying around.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. I've not used the auto grabber for the coop because I feel like that's kind of pointless because it's so quick to just go and pick up all the stuff on the floor. But yeah, not having to milk anything. Oh, it's great. I love it.
Do you want to hear something surprising?
Go on.
I have 2 auto grabbers, one in my barn and one in my coop, and I use them every day.
Oh.
I still also pet my animals every day.
I pet them as well because you got to raise that friendship.
I mean, mine are all
iridium
max
quality.
friendship, and I pet them anyway because it's
Oh.
my emotional need.
No, I only pet them all because I can't be bothered figuring out which ones aren't max friendship. Once they're all max friendship, I'm not going to bother petting them again. Aww. They don't need the affection. Aww. They've got each other.
Ruthless. But yeah, it's really nice and convenient. It kind of functions like a chest. So you go up to it every day and you open it up and it's just like, here's all your stuff from today. And you can pull it all out. And then if you're like me, you have that right next to the door. And then on the other side of it from the door is a row of exactly as many machines as you need to process everything that your animals produce every day. So you just grab from the auto grabber and stick everything in the machines and come back in 3 hours.
Oh, interesting. So you put things in the barns and the coops for that.
Yeah.
See, I have them at a different part because I don't want to go back to the animal section if I don't need to.
I have my farm set up really nicely so that like I just go in a circle. So like you start at your house and then you go down through the honey fields and then you go to the animals in the bottom right corner and you do all the animal stuff and then you cut through the shortcut to the fish corner on the bottom left where I have all of my fish ponds and some crab pots. And I do all my fish and then I go up to the top left, which has the hardwood root, which is where I am currently growing a forest of trees for the lumber. So I go and I cut down any trees that I can and stuff. And then I go down to the middle and I do all my crops in my greenhouse. And then I go back to the first square where I have a shed with all of my... What do I do in there? I have like my
wines and stuff.
Yeah, my wines and my jam jars, and also like my what are they called? Furnaces for making metal bars and stuff like that. And I do that, and then by the time I do all that, the animals are done, so I go and get that, and then I make a round up to the what is it called? Shipping bin?
Yeah.
And then I'm done. And then I go do something else for the day.
Fair enough. It sounds a pretty similar layout to mine, but yeah, I go down to the animals, I get the stuff for the animals, I go back up, I process it, and then I go down to the fish, and then I go back up and turn everything into wine and stuff like that. I find that if I do everything without going up to the top again, I just end up with a full bag. Because like in my greenhouse, I have as many fruit trees as you can possibly put in there. Mm-hmm. And so like there are some days where I get a ridiculous amount of fruit that just fills my bag. And, if there's even just a few crops in the greenhouse, combine that with all the stuff you get from the animals and the stuff from the crab pots, that it just fills up.
And that is why I put all of my animal crafting machines in the barn and the coop.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those in your thing, then you don't have... I mean, I occasionally have that problem if I get like a huge batch of crops coming out in a day, but then I just run out and run back. It's great. Stardew! Have you found the secret passage between the bottom two sections yet?
I have, yeah.
Good.
It's very useful.
For the listeners, it's next to the fences. The fence that's on the cliff in between the bottom two sections is a path out down to the forest, and there's like a horizontal fencing. At some point, it's right under those fences. So you can actually cut across. You don't have to go all the way around. They have something similar in the forest farm where there's a secret passage between the little sections. Just so you know. Because it took me a long time to figure that out.
So you mentioned the fish ponds. Should we talk about the fish ponds?
Can we talk about the fish ponds? I love the fish ponds. I think this may be one of my favorite additions in this game.
So can you, first of all, explain what they are and then tell me what fish you have in your fish ponds, because I want to know.
Okay. Oh, heck. Okay. So what it is, this is a building you can build on your farm, kind of like a coop, but instead of holding chickens, it holds fish. I have 12 of them on my farm. I have a whole corner dedicated to fishing. I love them so much. So what it is you can throw any fish species in there except for legendaries, I believe. And I think there's like a miscellaneous one other, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And they will multiply. And they sort of have like checkpoints. So like, for example, you may start with 1, and then when you get to 3, they're like, I want some slime. And you're like, okay. And they won't grow anymore until you bring them 5 slime.
Slime. I wish mine had asked for slime. My first one asked for a diamond. I was like, whoa, calm now. You've been here for 2 days.
So what it is that different fish ask for different things. And they ask for different things at different checkpoints. Does that make sense?
It does. I was just quite taken aback by the fact that my sturgeon was like, hey, I want a diamond. And I was like, are you a fish? It was very, very odd.
Yeah. They ask for like a wild variety of things. Some of them ask for really easy things like acorns. Some of them will ask for like diamonds or geodes. I currently have one fish. I don't remember which one. I'll look it up in a second. That's asking for like a very specific like mineral that comes out of a geode, and I don't think I'm ever gonna find. It has been 3 months in the game, and I haven't found one again. I'm so frustrated. So like they ask for lots of things. I have become a hoarder because of these, but I love them. I love this so much. There's somewhere between 2 and 4 checkpoints for each fish. The average being 3, I think. So the maximum number of fish you can grow are 10. And then depending on the number of fish you have in your pond, they will have a chance every day to spawn different items. So like most levels will have a chance to give you roe, like fish eggs, which you can either sell raw or you can put them in a
preserves jar, I think it is.
Preserves thing. You can make them into jelly, except instead of jelly, it makes caviar.
Caviar.
Or aged roe. And then at the higher levels, they often will make you random items. So, for example, some of them will produce trash or stones. Some of the higher ones will produce things like diamonds or iridium ore.
Yes.
I have one right now that occasionally gives me a beach totem.
Ooh.
So, like, it's really cool. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I am really into the fish.
What's your favourite fish in the fish ponds?
What's your favorite?
My favourite's the super cucumber, because that's the one that gives you iridium ore.
I have a full fish pond of super cucumbers, and I have never once gotten an iridium ore.
Yeah, it's rare, but it's a chance, right? I like the chance.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh, another thing about fish ponds that I really enjoy, if you craft a sign, you can actually put them onto the fish pond itself, and it will show you what fish is in there and how many of them there are. It's really cool. Did you know that?
I think I remember hearing that at some point, but I wasn't remembering it, so thank you for reminding me.
You wanted to know, I will answer. I have super cucumbers, crabs, which are the ones that will give you warp totems. I have spookfish and midnight squid and a sturgeon pond and a slime jack pond. That's the one that often asks me for slime.
I wonder why.
I've got a midnight carp pond, a rainbow trout pond, a lava eel pond, octopus, blobfish, and stonefish.
Speaking of fishing, there's also the new fishing rod.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've used it. I didn't use it because I've kind of gotten used to fishing, so I didn't feel the need to do it. So for those who aren't aware, the new fishing rod is the beginner's rod, and it is a lot easier to use than the normal one because it has a much wider band for catching the fish. But the catch is that it can only...
The catch is that you can only... I'm laughing at my own horrible joke. I am the worst. The catch is that you can only catch low-level fish. You can only catch common fish with it. But it's really helpful for getting you up those first few levels.
Yeah.
I did use it and I enjoyed it. Sorry for interrupting.
That's all right.
With my horrible, horrible joke.
So yeah, so it's a cool addition. I didn't use it, but I'm glad it's there. I probably should have used it for the first level or something because you can't. Like, one of the easier ways to go up the levels in fishing is using the crab pots, but obviously you can't use them at the first 2 levels, I think.
Yeah, I think they unlock at level 3.
And even if you get your hands on a crab pot before then, you can't really get until higher levels as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Or you become friends with Linus. And get the recipe for wild bait, which, by the way, actually does something now. I mean, it was always bait that made fish bite faster, but now if you use wild bait, you will have a chance to get 2 fish every time you catch a fish.
Ooh.
You want to know what else I think is really cool? The deluxe scarecrow.
Yeah.
I really like collecting things, and I love that. Okay, so you collect all of the rare crows. There's 8 of them. And then you get a recipe to make a deluxe scarecrow, which is really cute. So that's a thing you can do, right?
Well, and more importantly, it covers a larger area than a normal scarecrow, right? It's not just that it looks different.
Okay, but more importantly, it's cute. Part of the problem is that I grow all of my crops in the greenhouse now.
Fair.
That's not true. I have one little batch of crops in the middle of my honey field so I can get different types of honey. But the thing is that my honey field is where I keep my rare crow collection, and I have like 8 crop squares and also 10 rare crows. So, like, I'm definitely covered.
Well, the beauty of the deluxe scarecrow is that, so I have still quite a lot of crops. I have something like 300 cranberry bushes or something just now. But I've basically filled that top right square with crops. And the beauty of the deluxe scarecrow is it covers almost that entire top right square. So you only need one scarecrow for the whole area, which is pretty good. It means you can be more efficient with your placement of sprinklers. And I tell you, I had 7 out of 8 of those rare crows for about a year. Because
No.
I just needed the one from the casino, because I hadn't unlocked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was brilliant. I got into the casino and I was trying to kind of raise up some money to get it or whatever, and I bet 100 and got the 3-star drops and ended up with, like, what was it, 250,000 of the currency.
Nice.
So now
that is fantastic.
Now I have 400 farm totems, because there's almost nothing you can actually buy in the casino. There's a few decorations for your house, so I bought one of each of them. There's a top hat, I bought that. There's the rare crow, I bought that. And then I was just like, well, let me buy all of these totems. So obviously I won't be able to afford the return scepter for quite a while, so these will be useful until then.
You want to talk about something slightly more substantial?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's talk about the missing bundle.
The missing bundle.
So I believe if you go the Joja route, this is just a thing you can buy from Joja as well.
Yes, for $500,000.
$500,000. I could buy that right now.
I don't think you can do it until you've done all the other ones. So it's the same as when doing the bundle. But yeah, you can do it, but all the other upgrades.
Mm-hmm. So when you go the community center route, what it is that this is an extra bundle. So you do all your bundles, and then Joja goes defunct, and then what will happen is that there's a storm one night, and a lightning bolt breaks open the door, and you can go in there. And in there is one little bundle that was missing, and one little Junimo who's still trying to do it.
He couldn't get home.
Oh, it's so sad. He just wants to get home and hang out with it.
It was just like, oh, all of my friends got home. I'm the only one left.
You're like, no, Junimo, I love you. So that poor little Junimo is still there. And this bundle has a lot of, like, I'm going to say higher level later game things. So, like, one is a prismatic shard, which please don't rub in your prismatic shard success anymore. I get it.
The listeners haven't heard it.
Okay, we can tell the listeners.
I've got 4 prismatic shards, and it's great. I love it because obviously, you use one for the museum, you use one for this bundle, you use one to get the galaxy sword, and then I sold one. I just sold a prismatic. I just chucked it in my shipping bin.
I've never sold a prismatic shard in my life. Oh my gosh. Oh right, the missing bundle.
So yeah, prismatic shard.
It's a lot of like high level stuff. So it's a prismatic shard. One of them is very specifically a silver quality wine. Which, for those of you who don't know, when you put something in a cask to age it, if you use a pickaxe, you can extract the item. So you just wait till it has a little silver star on it, and then you pickaxe it, and you don't let it finish going to gold.
Yes, and I hadn't noticed this before because I'd never bothered aging wine. But yeah, when it gets to the certain level, it shows you on the cask. You don't have to calculate it and figure out when it's going to happen. It just shows you, which is really nice.
It's very nice. I like it a lot. I go really, really hard on the artisan route. I make lots of money that way. Like I said, I almost have $1 billion.
Oh my.
I'm saving it up right now to build some stuff. For example, I didn't finish talking about the bundle again. Darn it. I almost had a great transition.
So there's the wine with silver star. There's dino mayonnaise.
Which I believe I have on a previous episode.
Yes. Explained
my distress with that. Now I'm saving up dinosaur eggs, and I'm going to build another coop and just have an entire coop of just dinosaurs.
Nice. I think I have 2 dinosaurs in my coop now.
Life goal. Yeah. I have 1 because my coop is full.
I actually ended up getting the dinosaur egg really early in this playthrough. I've had a lot of good luck this playthrough, I think.
Wait, why you just gotta rub it in? I'm very happy for you and your success, though.
I mean, I legitimately...
that's really exciting.
I think I had the dinosaur hatched before the end of year 1.
Oh my gosh. It took me until literally the last week of year 2 to get a hatched dinosaur and an egg and mayo. Oh my gosh. You're doing so well. I'm so jealous. Anyway, so You can also do like 5 gold star ancient fruits. It's higher level stuff like that. So it's supposed to be more late game, which by the time you can complete the community center, you're already pretty late game.
I think that was the thing that I found with this, is that it seemed really easy to complete for me because I'd done most of the stuff before I'd finished the community centre, just because obviously I wasn't really paying attention to what I needed to do in the first year. So I had some fish that I couldn't get until fall of year 2. So by the time I'd completed the community centre, I'd had nearly 2 full years. So, I already I'd already found my dinosaur, and, I had fishing quite high so I could get that salmon like literally in a couple of hours of in-game time. I already had my 4 prismatic shards, and the wine was actually coincidental. I hadn't looked up what needed to be done for that bundle other than the prismatic shard, and I previously had never used the casks in the cellar because I was like, oh, I know they get me more money, but I want the money now rather than later. But I just put 4 in just to see what it was like, and then I was like, oh, I've got already gone silver. So I think I finished the bundle in 1 day because I had everything other than I had everything saved other than, well, I had the prismatic shard because I knew that was coming. I had dino mayonnaise that day. I had the what were the other things? I didn't have the ancient fruit, but that was fine because you don't need all 6 of them. And
there are 6 items you can use, but only 5 you have to put in.
Yeah, so I didn't do the ancient fruit ones. And then I just went up to the witch's house and stayed there until like 8 p.m. and caught the fish, and I was done. It was great.
I didn't complete it until near the end of year 2.
I think you've mentioned that before.
And it took me about a month to collect everything because I did not have everything stored. I was not in hoarding mode yet.
And then once you've done the bundle,
you get the movie theater. Have you had a chance to go into the movie theater?
I haven't actually done it. I've bought a ticket, but I've not gone in. But before we actually talk about that, can we talk about this Junimo, who the cutscene for, because you know how after you complete any bundle, you get the cutscene of the Junimo building it. There is, because we talked about there was just this one Junimo in this bundle, and it alone is building this movie theater. It's so cute. It's just him sitting on it, building it himself.
This tiny little Junimo is the greatest, most pure, most good. Such a good. I want to take it home with me. Who needs to have children when I could have such a good tiny Junimo?
Yeah, that was all. I just thought I was very proud of this Junimo building a whole movie theater by itself.
Me too. Do you want me to tell you about the movie theater? Because I've actually done the movie theater.
I've just bought a ticket. I've not done anything with it yet.
Okay. So you can buy tickets. You can buy multiple tickets. If you give a ticket to a villager, you can take them to a movie and buy them a snack. And if they like the movie and if they like the snack, you'll get a whole bunch of friend points with them. I think it's close to almost a couple hearts if they like all the things. So, but the catch is you can only go to a movie once a week. Here's what it is. There are 8 movies. There's one for each season, going on a cycle of 2 years. So there's spring, summer, fall, winter, year 1, spring, summer, fall, winter, year 2, starting from the season that you unlock it in. You can go to a movie. Different villagers like different movies. There's a concession stand. You can't get anything for yourself, but you can buy something for your movie date. Different villagers like different things. So it's like gifts. There's the whole like and dislike system that's involved in this. You go in, you can watch the movie. The movie will narrate little things. Occasionally you'll see other villagers going to watch the movie with you. Before you watch the movie, though, there is a crane machine game, which I'm kind of in love with. Occasionally, there will be someone in front of it, so you can't use it, and there's always someone in front of it after you watch the movie, so you have to do it before you watch the movie. It's like 500 gold to play, but there's a whole bunch of items in there that you can get for your house and stuff, so you can get sometimes you can get a spare movie ticket or a dinosaur egg, for example, which are hidden behind bushes, so you have to like knock them out with other items. But it randomly spawns items you can get. There's a whole series of like little Junimo plushes in different colors. There's other like stuffed animals. There's like house plants and stuff like that. Seasonal decor plants. Here's my pro tip for you. You can actually get the background tree items. So it looks like they're like background items. They're actual items you can grab and get. They're very good for if you drop them behind the bush, if it happens to fall behind the bush. They're very good for like knocking stuff out from behind there if there's anything behind there. You can also get a whole bunch of them and use them to decorate your house, which I probably have done. There's tons and tons of items. You can get the movie poster of every movie it happens to be the season of. It's really fun. I've spent a lot of money doing it. I have a lot of Junimo plushes. I'm really into it. That's the movie theater.
Yeah, I'll probably do it at some point, but I'm not going to focus on it just now.
Well, you can do it once a week, every week. So make sure you go at least once a season and see the little movies. They're not like super complicated or anything, or complex or detailed, but they're really cute and fun. Now can we talk about the desert?
Yes, let's talk about the desert.
So there's a whole bunch of new stuff in the desert. First and foremost, something I'm saving up for right now with my almost not billions of money. So when you do some quests for the wizard, it's kind of further down the game line, but you do the quests and you unlock the ability to create fancy magical buildings on your farm, like the Junimo huts and the golden clock. And then you could also build the mountain totem and the beach totem, these giant totems that you can use to transport yourself to different places on the map. You can now build one for the desert, so you don't have to pay Pam to take you there.
So they're actually called obelisks. The totems are the consumable ones, but yeah.
You're right.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I'm here for that.
So you can build obelisks.
I just had a minute of, wait, have I been calling it the wrong thing? But no, I haven't. It's fine. It was you that was wrong. No, the obelisks are good as well. Yeah. They're better, but they're more expensive.
They're expensive. They cost $1 million.
And like 20 iridium bars or something stupid.
Some of them use 5, some of them use 20. And then it's like, I think the desert totem is 20 iridium bars and then 10 coconut and 10 cactus
Which,
fruit.
that feels quite uneven, really, right? 10 coconut, well, it's quite easy to get. 10 cactus fruit, yeah, reasonably easy to get. 20 iridium bars, not so much.
I mean, like I said, I've got like 50 of them. So.
Good for you. I have 4 prismatic shards.
Yep. I have one thing. Let me have it. So there is also you can also get now a warp totem, which is the item, the consumable, which you get from the desert trader, who's new. It's a new little shop in the desert. It's the coffee human from the night market, Al, who runs the trader shop. Just so you know, if you try and go to the shop during the night market, they're not there because they're at the night market. Don't make my mistakes.
Oh no.
For realsies, it shuts down during the 3 days.
Some of these things in the trading are very definitely not worth it, by the way. Like, you know, selling, was it diamond for, oh no, I think it's ruby for hay or something like that, which is just not worth it at all.
So you don't use money at the desert trader. You like swap items. And so what it is that it has a set of like, these are things that are permanent stock. So like, for example, you can get a desert warp totem by trading 3 Omni Geodes. A diamond is for a triple shot of espresso, which you don't need to buy. You can plant a few coffee seeds, get a bunch of coffee, brew some coffee. An espresso is 3 cups of coffee put together. It's fine. You can buy the spicy eel for a single ruby, which is great. I just put a ruby in a crystallarium and I save them up. I've got like 100 and something of these spicy eel dishes still.
Nice.
There is a house item you can get, which is the butterfly hutch. Have you gotten the butterfly hutch?
I haven't, because it's the usual thing for me. It doesn't actually do anything other than put butterflies in your house. I don't really care.
It puts butterflies in your house. Yeah. Butterflies will fly around your house. It's so fun.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. And then what it is that there's a random rotating stock of items. One of those is hay, which, by the way, you can buy 3 hay for a single Omni
It's
Geode.
definitely not worth it.
It is what it is. You can get a staircase for a piece of jade. This is also where you get the Void Ghost Pendant, which you can use to... in this update, if you get your max hearts with Krobus, you can get this pendant, and then you can give it to Krobus instead of like giving a mermaid pendant to marry a villager, and Krobus will move in with you.
That is, I saw that, and it's a pretty cool addition.
Yeah, you just have your little shadowy person friend,
and you get some advantages of being married without being married as well, which is cool. Oh, there's an interesting one. Does that count as because you get a point in your evaluation if you're married? Do you get one if you're roommates with Krobus?
I have no idea.
I'll have to find that out.
They also sell a couple hats that are rainbow. They change colors, but they're also 333 Omni Geodes each. So that's something to save up for. But yeah, the Desert Trader is pretty cool. They have some good stuff. Like you can buy an artifact trove, which is a new thing, which it's like a geode, but instead of giving you minerals and stuff, it'll give you a random like museum artifact. What else do we got in the desert?
There's the new prehistoric levels. You just said that, didn't you? And as you hinted at some point in the last 7 hours, there are large dinosaurs in those levels.
That spit fire.
They do. They breathe a lot of fire. It is really hard to kill them as well.
It's very disorienting.
A lot of fire. And they have very high HP as well. Like, I threw like 5 bombs at one and it was still standing.
So yeah, the dinosaurs, they're also, other than a slightly more than 1% chance that an artifact spot in the bus stop will give you a prehistoric vertebra, this is the only other way to get it. So it's a drop from them.
Yeah, I think that's how I got mine.
Probably. That's how I got mine. It was the only dinosaur on the level I found. And I got it and was like, I'm out. I'm done. I was doing really well. I don't care. I'm not losing this.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
The couple of times that I've died in the Skull Cavern, I'm like, please not the Iridium Ore. Please not the Iridium Ore. Anything but the Iridium Ore. Or my Galaxy Sword. I won.
Oh, here's a note. If you die in a cave now, you can go to the Adventurers Guild. And they offer a service now where you can get back one of the items you lost when you died for a small fee.
Yeah, I have actually seen that. I don't know, does it work for Skull Cavern as well?
I'm pretty sure it does. The recovery service works for mines, the quarry mine, the Skull Cavern. So let's talk about the quarry mine. Speaking of caves.
Yeah, there's a new mine which you access from the quarry. It's quite cool. It's a reasonably small one. It's just got 1 level. But it's a larger level than normal. And if you get to the end, you get the golden scythe.
Which cuts down more in a bigger radius.
It gets you more. I think it can also provide more per thing that you cut down as well. And of course, there are massive flying skulls of fire in that cave.
That sometimes drop artifact troves.
It was utterly terrifying the first time I went to that cave. Because I was not very high up on my combat yet. And you walk in, you're like, oh, okay, there's some stuff. Oh, that's interesting. These stones are taking 2 hits to take down. Oh, okay, that's fair. Oh, that's a flying flame skull.
Yeah.
And they are so fast. Like the thing I used to be most terrified of were the dragons in Skull Cavern, because they just like surround you and they're terrifying. And if you're not quick, they have a really quick rebound. But these flying skulls are worse.
Yep, they are worse than the serpents. They're scary. Did you know that the slimes in there are particular new slimes?
I wondered that, but I also thought maybe I just hadn't seen them before.
Nope, they're new. They are copper and iron. So, like, the brown ones are copper and the gray ones are iron, and they sometimes drop the respective ores.
Nice.
And the way the cave works is that it's just one long level. And if you get to the end of the level, if you've already gotten the scythe is held by a little Grim Reaper statue, and if you interact with the statue, it'll warp you back to the beginning of the cave. So you don't have to walk all the way back. But it resets every day. So you can go in and kill half the things and then go to the hot springs and come back and it will all be the same so long as it's the same day.
Yeah.
I go there to mine for stones and also artifact troves. It's pretty cool. It's another cool thing you can do every day.
You can upgrade sheds now.
Yeah, I've done that.
You can make them bigger.
It doubles the space in your shed, and also you can decorate it with like items like you can the inside of your house.
Yay.
Yay.
I can put things on the walls.
Yeah. I have a giant shed right now, and one half of it is all kegs brewing wine. And one half of it, 2/3 of the other half, is all preserves jars, making jam and pickles and caviar. And the other third is all of the other crafting machines. But the sheds are really cute. You want to know about something else you can upgrade? Your trash can.
I
so
love
like
this.
in your menu where you can like trash items, you can upgrade it like you do a tool to like copper, iron, gold, iridium. And the higher you upgrade it, it will actually give you a % value back of whatever you're trashing. So if you finally found that dinosaur egg, but you have a full inventory and you're like, oh no, I'm going to have to get rid of something that I would normally sell back home, you can put it in the trash can. And if you have, for example, the highest is the iridium trash can. So rather than just losing that forever, you can get 60% of the money.
Yeah.
Instantly.
So I really like this feature, but one thing I am a little bit disappointed is that I feel like 60% is quite low for the highest upgrade for it. And obviously it's better than nothing, but I feel like iridium quality trash can should be, at least 80%.
I mean, you're literally throwing the item in the trash.
I know, but I feel like it could have been really useful. Like it's basically a movable shipping bin now, right?
But they don't want it to be, and that's the point. It's not a shipping bin, it's a trash can.
No, it just feels like it's very close to being really, really useful. 60% is like you're only going to use it if you have to, whereas 80% is actually you could probably use it quite a lot of the time. It's quite a big difference there. But anyway, I like it. I just wanted it to be a bit higher.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I understand.
It's also very purple.
It is very purple. That's the most important part. I love the purple.
I finally upgraded all my tools to iridium, and it's nice having them all in a line purple, including my sword.
Yeah, it's cool. I love the purple, especially. I don't know if you know this about me. Purple is my favorite color. And my character's dressed in all purple, and I like to wear the purple boots, and I have all the purple tools. It's very nice. And I think, speaking of trash, I have before talked about the trash cans now, which have the new animation, and you can get the trash can lid as a hat.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. Do you have a trash can hat yet?
No, but did you know you can also put your copper pan on your head?
Uh-huh. I just love, there's a lot of new hats and I love it so much.
I put my top hat on my horse and I'm wearing the fedora.
That's so great. I am wearing the cone hat that you buy at the night market because it's pink and purple and it matches my aesthetics. And I don't have a hat on my horse, which is awful, but I'm in the process of collecting things. So I have it in my collection to market.
I only put it on because it was the top hat and it just looks so ridiculous on a horse.
It's so cute. I love putting hats on horses. I'm pretty sure you can put hats on children now in this game, with this update.
Nice. Mine's still a baby.
I'm not even married. So one of the new things is that all of your spouses, you can now get your relationship up to 14 hearts. And all the spouses have a new 14 heart event. Did you know that?
I did. I haven't got to mine yet. I'm at 12 hearts just now with Leah.
I am mildly dreading this because, like I said, I'm trying to 100% this, which means I have to marry everybody and get them all up to 14 hearts and then see their 14 hearts event.
And then divorce them. Dreadful.
Divorce them.
Now, the real question is, are you going to wipe their memory after that, or are you going to have them all hate you?
I don't know.
Because the thing is, have you seen that if you get divorced, now your divorcee will not come to your next wedding?
Mm-hmm.
So it means,
and I'm thinking like by the time I hit 10, there's going to be no one there.
No one there. It's like going to be Pam just sitting there on her own.
It's going to be like Pam and Lewis just like, what is with you? Oh, it's going to be so bad. Yeah, so that's a thing.
I want you to do that just so we can see what it looks like.
I think I will. I will tweet out what happens. It's going to be glorious. I had a transition set up earlier and I ruined it. So let's talk about clothes. So there's a bunch of new hats you can equip. Your clothing is now equipable items. So you can change your clothing. And with that comes, you can craft a whole bunch of clothes. Have you done this yet, Al?
What do you think?
No.
I have not.
So you can unlock this. There's a big sewing machine a la Animal Crossing New Leaf in Haley and Emily's house. And you can go and you put in a material and then you put in something to mix it with and it'll make a clothing item. So your material is usually cloth. And for example, you can do if you do cloth and a golden mask artifact, I'm pretty sure you get a t-shirt with the mask face on it. And there's so many different clothes. You can make shirts, you can make pants, you can make hats. I'm pretty sure there's actually a function where you can sew, for example, your boots have stats on them, right?
Yeah.
So you can combine two things, so you can have the appearance of one and the stats of another. So if you hate having the purple boots with the high stats, you can put those stats onto some boots that you actually like.
Why would anyone not want the purple boots though? They look great.
Because they're wrong. I'm sorry, listeners, if you don't like the purple boots. It's just that purple is my favorite color.
Well, and then they match all your iridium quality weapons and
you gotta be an
items.
Iridium farmer.
Exactly.
That's how I feel, but some people don't feel that way, Al, and that's okay. We respect differences here. And then when you realize that there's hundreds of clothing items and you've made a whole bunch of them and you're like, where am I going to put this? I can't make that many chests. You don't have to, because now the furniture, like a dresser, you can put clothes and stuff in, and this includes hats, and it also includes rings, so you can have a whole collection of rings, and I'm pretty sure the storage is unlimited. You could just toss it all in there, and it has little tabs, so you can only look at the shirts or the shoes or the rings. It's great.
Yeah, I probably will never use it, but it is. I think it is very cool.
Mm-hmm. What else can we talk about? There's a bunch of new items.
Yeah, there's the crafting table, which is you can put it up next to chests, and you can craft things without having them in your inventory if they're in the chests, which is pretty cool. There's also the wood chipper, which I don't know why anyone would use, but if you really have far too much hardwood and you need more normal wood, you can throw some hardwood in and get some normal wood out.
It's useful.
You can also get a recipe to create grass starters, which is cool. So you don't need to keep buying it from Pierre if you run out of grass.
Mm-hmm. I've never bought any from Pierre. I've just made my own.
Nice.
There's also... Have you gotten the tea plants yet?
I haven't, no, actually. I was thinking about that today. I should probably do... Oh, pardon me. I should probably do that, although my next 4 weeks will be entirely playing Doraemon, so...
Yeah. The way you do that is at a certain French... I think it's like 2 Hearts with Carolyn or something. One time when you go into the shop / Carolyn's house, there's a new little... She has a new little room that's a greenhouse where she grows tea, and she's like, here, I'll teach you how to craft tea plants so you can also grow tea. And then you can get tea leaves for the last week of every season except for winter. And you can grow tea. You can make green tea out of it. It is more you make more money by pickling the leaves than by creating green tea. Just so you know. So that's a new thing you can do. That was a sidetrack. Sorry, please finish the new items.
There's the mini fridge, which you can put next to your fridge, and it will increase the storage of your fridge if you do a lot of cooking. Mm-hmm. I think that's all of the kind of items and stuff. There's the gift log for your NPCs, so you can see what you've given them and what they like and dislike based on that, which is cool.
Which is really, really cool.
Very useful.
Yeah. So basically, like in your friendship tab, you can go to a person and you click on a person and it pulls up a whole menu where you can see like their most liked gifts and their hated gifts, and you can sort it by like category of item and stuff. It's so nice. I
think it also autofills because you know how you have the secret notes, and some of the secret notes tell you things. I think it's filled from that as well, because apparently Leah likes poppy seed muffins. I've never encountered a poppy seed muffin in my life, but I think one of the secret notes told me that, so that's cool.
Yeah. Secret notes or villagers just mentioning it to you if somebody likes something or if you give an item, it all registers it in this list, which is really nice and helpful and easy to keep track of.
Very useful.
Here's one of my favorite updates. Quote, Junimo Kart has been completely redone and is now actually fun.
And this one is a quote from Concerned Ape, not a quote from me.
Yeah, Junimo Kart was really rough. I haven't beaten it yet, but I might actually try again. So, one of my new favorite things, you're in year 2. You haven't met the trash bear.
Is this not the one that wants maple syrup, no? Or is this a different thing?
No.
Oh.
That's just the bear. So the trash bear appears beginning in year 3. And in the forest on the very bottom right, you can hang out on the trash bear and he will ask for a series of items from you. I think the first 2 are just like random items like fish and stuff. The second 2 are always going to be cooked items. Other than that, they're randomly generated. And once you give the trash bear all of those items, the bear will clean all of the trash in the town. So like under the cliff where there's like all that trash thrown down there, cleans it all up, makes it look nice and pretty with bushes and trees. We'll go to the town, for example, like in between all the little houses, like by Pam and Penny's house and stuff, and like the little dog, there's a bunch of trash and bottles thrown there, cleans it all up nice, gives Dusty the dog a steak, like makes it really pretty. So you can do that once every year to make your town prettier. It's very cute and very fun. We could go on forever. There are literally 1 trillion billion things in this update.
There are so many.
So many. We haven't even hit the multiplayer stuff. Do we want to hit some multiplayer stuff?
The multiplayer stuff's probably pretty quick. There's lots of little fixes in terms of how it works, but there's a few kind of big ticket items that we could quickly talk about.
Yeah.
So for example, you can choose to have separate money if you want now. So previously you could only have one combined money. So that's pretty cool. There's also a bunch of stuff where previously they wouldn't synchronize properly between the different players, and now they do.
Mm-hmm. This is stuff like your daily luck or trains or bulletin board quests, stuff like that.
It's all just cleaned up and kind of more multiplayer-y.
Mm-hmm.
And very important, obviously, you now have separate cellars and mailboxes and areas for your spouse if you want.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice, so you don't have to like break into your player one's house to go check on your aging casks. Not that I mind, but now you have your own space.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's really good. When I say there's so much in this update, like literally it takes time to read. It is an extremely long list of things.
It is. I think it's so impressively good. Just because, like, you know, this is now a game that's been out for 4 years, and this is such a big update, and it didn't, like, in the run up to it, it didn't really feel like it was going to be that big. Like, we'd only really heard of the fishing ponds, and that was like it. So for there to be so much is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt, there was so much that it felt fresh as well. Like, I didn't feel like I was just replaying the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. It adds a huge amount of quality to this game. So like if you thought you were done playing it and moved on to something else and you're like, I don't know, do I want to? Yes, you do. You want to play it again. Put some time into it. Go check out this update. It's deep. It's fun. It's so good. It's so good.
Agreed.
It's so good. And that's it. That's the thing.
That's Stardew 1.4. Look out for the next Stardew episode when Stardew 1.5 comes out. Haha, funny. No pressure.
Thus goes our ongoing Stardew series. I guess we have an ongoing Stardew series now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It feels like a dangerous precedent to make, but hey, this is the 4th update in 4 years, so it's not like we're going to be having it every month or anything.
Tune in next year for our annual Stardew update episode.
So, one thing that we didn't mention a couple of episodes ago is we've now been a podcast for over a year.
That's so long.
It is a very long time. Our first episode came out in the 9th of January, I think, 2019.
Something like that.
Something like that. So we've been doing this for a whole year now, which is crazy. And one thing that a few people have asked is for a way to support us. And we've been working on this for a while now. So we have...
You asked, and I tried to not think about it, and Al eventually convinced me to think about it, and you shall receive.
So we are launching a Patreon.
Wow.
In fact, when you listen to this episode, it should already be launched.
Will they even know? It was like a few days ago. Will they know? Will we tweet it, or will we just see who can find it until we officially announce it?
I'll probably be tweeting it on the day that it launches.
You're the responsible one. I'm the fun one.
So, we've got a Patreon now, as you're listening. If you want to support us, obviously the main reason to do it is if you want to support us, but we do have some rewards as well. And the big one that we'll be doing is that we will be launching a mini series inside the Patreon, which is just going to be another fortnightly 10 to 20 minute episode about some other stuff. So we're going to call that the Greenhouse. And if you are interested in that, you can go along to Patreon. And
how about we tell them to check out the Patreon and see what the rewards are?
Sounds like a good plan. So if you want to support that, if you want to support us, if you get any of the rewards, then check out the page. It will be linked in our show notes. And yeah, we are now one of those podcasts.
I guess so. With exciting rewards, some that you have asked for and some that I have asked for. And probably something in between.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm not nervous at all.
Not at all. It'll go fine.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Something about having a podcast makes it feel like a little too real to me, I think, is the problem. I'm just like, oh no, I'm actually capital D doing capital S something here. I don't know. I'm nervous. So support us, I guess.
If you would like to.
I would appreciate your validation. But if not, this podcast will always be free. You will always be able to listen to it. You are not ever going to be missing on something that you would have gotten if we didn't have this podcast, this Patreon. Yes,
the new mini series in the Patreon will be new stuff. It's not stuff that we'll be like, oh, we won't put that in the episode now. It will be other stuff that we've not quite figured out yet. Although there will be one episode out by the time this episode comes, but that will just be a kind of introduction one. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're learning, and one of the things that will be in the Patreon will be a way to kind of help us figure out the direction of the podcasts. So there may well be questions and polls that you might want to look at if you're a patron. Help us figure out what to do.
Yeah.
What you want.
Oh, I'm nervous. It's going to be great though, right? We have very wonderful listeners. So
it is going to be great.
And until the next time. Oh no, wait.
No.
I'm that nervous, I guess.
But as well as supporting us financially, you can also find us on Twitter at THSPod. You can see all the retweets that we do, and when we post about the podcast on a fortnightly basis, that's about it. You can find Rochelle on Twitter
at Miss Delaney with 2 L's. Please tweet at me what I want to know this week. I want to know if you've played the walk. I want to know what your favorite fish to grow in the fish ponds is. And I want to know whether or not you have also gotten an excessive number of prismatic shards. Thank you. And you can find Al
also on Twitter at TheScottBot. I am interested in your favourite fish to have in a fish pond in the new Stardew update.
And until next time.
Or you can go onto our website to email us, harvestseason.club.
Why do I even try? What's the point? Oh, I'm lost this episode. So until next time,
have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes, including links to things we discussed and transcripts for every episode. Thanks for listening.
Like,
This is so fascinating. You're just like, not gonna shift children. Also not gonna pet my cows. And I'm like, I will pet cows, and I don't mind shape-shifting children.
I feel like there's a big difference here, right? My cows are happy, they're happy, but I'm not willing to turn my children into doves, right? These are very different things.